The run won't work. He's been getting out, throwing his block.
Less than 1 minute of playing time ago, the Lions were in position to cut the lead down to 7. And just like that, the Packers are back up by 21. Luther Blue brought it out, but not too far before Howard Sampson brought him down. There is a look at the standings in the World Series of Golf. Hubert Green with a 2-shot lead on Dr. Gil Morgan. Neither one has reached the halfway mark of the final round. Tom Watson is even, and Lanny Watkins is 7 strokes off the pace at 2 over par.
Hubert Green has, he's 5 under. He has a 3-shot lead.
Did I say 2?
2. I think you were making reference to Morgan, 2 under. Actually, Green's ahead by 3. Morgan is 2 under. And Watson's not out of it.
Luther Blue is down after returning that last kickoff. And they're taking a look at him. What a turn of events as far as Monty Clark and the Lions are concerned. They had envisioned moving into a 21-14 situation and getting right back into the game. Gray makes the interception in the end zone, and 2 plays later, Turdell Middleton turns it on, goes 77 yards for a touchdown that puts the Packers back in front by 21.
There's a swing of 14 points in a matter of seconds. A swing of 14 rather than 21-14 to 28-7.
We still have 5 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, so plenty of football is left here.
Last time Detroit played in County Stadium was 1975. Only 8 Lions were on the team then that are still here. So only 8 of the Detroit Lions have played in County Stadium.
As a matter of fact, there are 22 new faces on this Lion club from a year ago and 13 rookies on the club.
Let's see if we can find out how Luther got it there. Pretty tough hit. Let's hope he's okay.
Howard Sampson was the man who made the tackle. Dexter Bussey carries on first down. Dave Roller makes the tackle along with Mike Butler. There's Butler helping Bussey to his feet.
Run from scrimmage by Green Bay Packers since November 8, 1964, when Jim Taylor went.
He got about 4 on the play. Let's call it 2nd down and 6.
The fans here are cheering about something that was announced. We didn't hear what it was, but it must have been exciting.
They keep it on the ground. And this will be a 3rd down coming up for Danielson. Barzalauskas and Butler combining on the stop.
One player that the Lions could certainly lose is Gene Washington, whom they picked up from the 49ers, but he has a strained Achilles tendon. They've had to put it in a cast, which means that he won't be playing for a couple or 3 weeks at least. And Monty Clark had hoped he would be ready to play by now, but he's an experienced receiver. He's got 480 passes in this National Football League, and that's a lot.
Brad Oates, the young offensive lineman for Detroit, hobbled off after that last play. Dexter Bussey needs 3 yards for the first down. And he's got it.
Dexter Bussey stopped by Johnny Gray. First down.
So you saw on your screen a moment ago, the Lions have not had particularly good success converting on 3rd downs this afternoon, but that time they got what they needed to keep their drive alive. First and 10 from the 38. Exactly 4 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. County Stadium in Milwaukee, 28-7 Green Bay.
You mentioned 3rd down situations. They were 13 of 61 going into this game.
Gary Danielson at quarterback. Hands the ball to Horace King on first down, and King is spun down for a loss. Terry Jones got in there. The rookie from Alabama. That's Jones, number 63.
Stopped by Terry Jones.
Receives congratulations from Johnny Gray as they slap palms. Jones, one of the big surprises this year as far as the Packers are concerned, an 11th round draft choice, made their squad.
And he keeps playing like that, he's going to be in there a little more often.
Bussey, the leading Lion rusher, as you saw. And Danielson gets a taste of what Greg Landry experienced during the first half John Anderson came at him along with Ezra Johnson. Anderson from his linebacker spot. And Johnson, who is as well acquainted with the Lion quarterbacks as any of their teammates are.
He really hasn't met Gary Danielson all that much, but before this game is over, he might get to know him even better. But John Anderson got through slick and clean that time, and the Packers pile up one more sack.
3rd and 23. The ball back at the 25-yard line. 2:45 on the third quarter clock. Danielson under the gun again. Butler is after him. Barzalauskas comes up and helps to chase him out of bounds. This will bring Tom Skladany on as the Lions can go nowhere and they have to punt. Packer defense hears the applause at County Stadium. Danielson and Clark trying to figure out what went wrong.
You'd have to imagine on this punt that they wouldn't go for the punt block so much because Odom has done so well on punt returns, but they have 10 men on the line right now.
Steve Odom, single safety, back at the 40. And another good long kick by Skladany. Sends him back to the 25. And only a couple of yards on the return. Another good kick by Tom Skladany.
Yes, and Steve Odom knew that he was on his own because they did put the punt block on, and all he saw were white jerseys coming down. And that's when a punt receiver says, "Where are my friends?" And they're nowhere to be found. But the Packers have the ball. First down on the 30-yard line.
Atlanta will be at Pittsburgh next Sunday on CBS. The Steelers still unbeaten at 5-0. Philadelphia, that says Philadelphia at Atlanta, but it's Philadelphia at New England. Washington plays the Lions at Detroit. First and 10 from the 28. And Barty Smith carries on first down for the Packers.
Barty Smith.
Good play by Al Baker making the tackle that time. Played off the block and got Barty Smith as the Packers now will probably pull in their horns a little bit.
Exactly 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. At the start of this period, the Lions were making noise like they might be getting back into the game. They had already scored once and they were threatening a second time. A Johnny Gray interception in the end zone cut that drive short. And 2 plays later, Turdell Middleton burst off the right side for 77 yards. And the Packers led 28-7. This is Middleton taking a little toss from Whitehurst. Turdell Middleton, more running room. Into Detroit territory at the 48. Luther Bradley was there finally to stop Middleton. And here it is again.
The Packers continue to roll as Whitehurst goes back, goes to his safety valve, and guess who was out there? You guessed it, number 71. Here he comes here as Burns comes up, and here comes 71 to screen him out. And then Turdell does the rest as he cuts back against the grain. He's real good at cutting back against the grain. And finally, 4 Detroit Lions bring him down.
Less than a minute now to play in the quarter. Whitehurst to Smith and the reverse to Lofton, who wants to throw off of this play. Fires for Thompson, incomplete. Lofton showed me a good arm there.
I think he showed Andre Thompson a good arm because Andre says, wait a minute. He was starting to slow down. He figured that James couldn't throw it that far. No way. And the ball went 10 yards over his head. And he's getting an ovation just for the pass he threw.
Lofton really had time to load that one up because the defense, having seen them work the same play where Lofton carried the ball, was beginning to peel off to the other side, and there was nobody there. He had time to grab that ball, take a look, and really uncork.
And who said the Packers were conservative?
Certainly not today. Nate Simpson has replaced Turdell Middleton briefly in the backfield, and that is Simpson carrying on this second down play and breaking some tackles. There's a flag down as Simpson's finally stopped.
He's going to call clipping on Goforth, Darryl Goforth coming out. The defender got his back turned to him. I think it might have been O'Neal. And it's going to go against Green Bay.
Don Wedge and his crew have had a very busy afternoon.
Personal foul, clipping number 57 on the offense, second down.
Exactly right. Darrell Goforth, and here's another look at it, Johnny.
Now we'll take a look, and you can see the end of it right there. Here it is right there. He hits O'Neal. It is O'Neal that he hits right there. So the Packers are back a ways.
2nd and 25 from their own 36. Simpson carries again. And Nate Simpson gets a good portion of that back. Out to the 46-yard line, a 10-yard gain. Reggie Pinckney made the tackle.
That time, Darrell Goforth got a block, and a good block on O'Neal. The same two. Watch 57. He pulls up, turns up the hole, and he'll hit 55 right there. And then the cutback and a good play by the Green Bay Packers.
Atlanta comes from behind and beats the Giants 23-20.
Just never know these days. The Giants are now 3-2 instead of 4-1, which it appeared they were going to be.
And Atlanta, which has had trouble generating offense this season, suddenly comes up with some points. And they win it 23-20. That's the end of the third quarter here with the score. Green Bay 28, Detroit 7, and we now pause for a word from your local station.
Kaz defend an accused swindler when he finds out his client is really guilty? Find out on Kaz tonight on CBS.
We just get word from our producer, Tom O'Neill, that Cleveland beat the Yankees at Yankee Stadium today 9-2, and Boston, with Jim Rice hitting number 46, leads Toronto 5-0, bottom of the 8th at Fenway Park. First play of the fourth quarter. David Whitehurst to Barty Smith. Barty Smith into Detroit territory. Luther Bradley wrestles him out of bounds.
Whitehurst pass complete to Barty Smith. Stop by Bradley.
That was a third down play, and they needed about 15. So now the Packers are going to have to punt. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time this afternoon that David Beverly has punted. And there you see the baseball result. If Boston holds on to their 5-0 lead over Toronto, the Yankees and Boston will wind up in a tie. A one-game playoff will be held tomorrow at Fenway Park in Boston. Mike Torres for the Red Sox, and you know who for the Yankees.
I think it's Guidry's turn, isn't it?
It would be. He is 24-3.
If he wins that game, is that gets a win, does that count as a part of the regular season?
Yes, it does. All the results in playoffs count as part of it. And David Beverly angles for the sideline.
You must have been right. It was his first punt.
They're going to mark this at the 29-yard line, so Beverly did not get the result he was looking for that time. Detroit will have the ball with 14 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the fourth quarter after an 18-yard punt by Beverly.
In 1906, Harvey Firestone built the first mechanically mounted pneumatic tires for his friend Henry Ford. You know, Harvey sold a lot of tires because Henry sold a lot of cars. And then in 1908, Harvey came up with the first non-skid tread pattern. You knew it was non-skid because it said so right on the tread. Harvey had a lot of good ideas. He was the first one to put rubber tires on a tractor, ever. You see, Harvey Firestone was never satisfied. He was always looking for a better way. And today, Firestone engineers are still looking for ways to make better tires. And that's led to the finest steel-belted radial Firestone has ever built, the 721. It's a product Harvey Firestone would have been proud of. Because, you know, he always said he wanted Firestone products to be the best today and still better tomorrow.
Some changes on defense for the Packers. Robert Barber moves in at left end for Mike Butler. And rookie Mike Douglas out of San Diego State is in at the linebacker spot, replacing Gary Weaver. And this is Rick Kane for the Detroit his first carry, and it's not a happy experience as Terry Jones spins him down.
How would you like to be a ball carrier like Rick Kane? Come in your first time you carry the ball, you see 63 gets through the hole, and you don't even get a chance to get started. Hang on to the ball. Rick Kane down. He dropped a touchdown pass, I think, against the Packers in the first game.
Kane has come in replacing Dexter Bussey. He lost 7 on the play, 2nd and 17. Danielson throws off Kane's hands. So Rick's having a tough time. 3rd and 17 coming up. You know, you asked before, John, about whether or not this one-game playoff, stats from that game, if Rice hits any more homers, if Guidry wins a ball game, whether that will count in regular season. The answer is yes for this one game, but of course the pennant playoffs, the 3 out of 5 that follow, are an entirely separate category. Houston beats Cleveland 16-13.
Having a few upsets in the NFL today.
$13:26 remaining in this one. The Packers apparently on their way to going 4-1. Pressure is on. Carl Barzalauskas gets there. There's a flag on the play as Danielson is sacked. Carl Barzalauskas, whom Green Bay obtained from the Jets for a 4th and 5th round draft choice next year, and you'd have to say it's a deal they're happy with. But that sack apparently is going to be negated as the penalty is against Green Bay.
And Carl was kind of disgusted because he hasn't had all that many sacks today. In fact, I think that's his first one.
Offsides, defense, number 70, lined up offside, 3rd down.
Robert Barber offside on that play. Oakland leads Chicago 3-0. If the Raiders beat the Bears and if the Packers hold on here, Green Bay owns first place all by themselves in the NFC Central.
3rd down and 12.
3rd down and 12 from the 27th. Danielson again under pressure. He rolls away from it. Danielson still on his feet, and finally he's brought down. Mike Douglas got him.
Tackled by Mike
Danielson did a good job to get away from that one. Those guys were coming again, like in the Sundance Kid. Who are those guys? Well, I'll tell you what. There was a whole bunch of Green Bay Packers.
In comes Tom Skladany. And back goes Steve Odom once again to field the punt. Skladany, in his rookie season after sitting out all of last year, drafted by the Browns, didn't want to sign with them. Detroit obtained him prior to this season in a deal, obtained his rights, and they were able to sign him. This one spins down to Odom at about the 31. Odom trying to get outside with it, breaks the tackle, finds some daylight, and down to the 45.
Steve Odom, tackled by Willie Brock.
Amos Fowler made that tackle.
Ford introduces a new wagon for the American road. The all-new LTD Country Squire for $79. A new wagon with more driver convenience, more handling ease, more window area, and more passenger room than last year's Country Squire.
This land is your land. This land is my land.
The all-new Ford LTD Country Squire for $79. See it at your Ford dealer now.
Have you ever wondered where major industries do their shopping? When the automotive industry shops for car thermostats, when the aircraft industry shops for lightweight special metals, and the leisure time industry shops for true temper golf shafts and garden tools, when a number of industries shop for gases and chemicals, they're all drawn to one source. The source? Allegheny Ludlam Industries, the supermarket.
There's the final from Fenway. Luis Tiant shut out the Blue Jays. The race is in a dead heat. They will have a one-game playoff, the Yankees and Red Sox, tomorrow at Fenway Park in Boston. The winner will face Kansas City beginning on Tuesday in Kansas City in the American League playoffs. The flip out to James Lofton on first down.
Complete to James Lofton.
And he gets to about midfield before Tony Dakin made the tackle. Both teams have brought some people off the bench. Dakin, a second man from Georgia Tech, an 11th round draft choice a year ago, playing at linebacker now for Monty Clark's Lions.
The Packers are still putting the ball up. They're not going into a shell by any means, leading 28-7 with 11:47 to go.
And it's 2nd and 5 from midfield. Both wide receivers, Lofton and Thompson, are on the left side. Pitch goes outside to Nate Simpson, and Simpson is corralled by Dave Washington for a 5-yard loss. Washington, the veteran, who played for Monty Clark at San Francisco in 1976 and went to the Pro Bowl that year, now rejoining Clark in Detroit.
He came in behind the interference that time. The blocking was out in front, but he came in behind with a great speed. He's one of the fastest linebackers in the league. Very quick.
Clark has 5 of his old 49er players on his club now in Detroit. Bruce Rhodes and Mike Burns, defensive backs. Dave Washington, the linebacker. Gene Washington, the wide receiver. A great one for so many years, now out with an Achilles injury. And backup defensive lineman Bill Cook as well. Whitehurst wants to go to the sideline and confer with Bretkowski and Starr. He faces a 3rd and 10 from his own 45 with 10 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the game.
Maybe we'll take a look at James Lofton on the isolated replay this next time. See if he runs and blocks. See if he blocks us when he's not going to catch a pass.
Protecting your car radiator against freezing up when it's freezing outside, that's the mark of Xerex. Xerex Antifreeze. Protecting your radiator against boiling over when it's boiling outside. That's the mark of Xerex. Protecting your radiator against rust no matter what it's doing outside. That's the mark of Xerex. 3-way protection all year long. That's the mark of Xerex.
Light beer from Miller tastes just great, and that's no fish story. But the best thing is, it's less filling. Light's got a 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and that's important when you're trying to land that big one. Like yesterday, I hooked this bass, fought him for over 6 hours. All of a sudden, he jumps clean over the boat. Broke my rod, and I had to tie the... No, wait a minute, fellas. I had to tie the line off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Left me out there with nothing but a paddle.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular presents the U.S. Grand Prix East from Watkins Glen, the world's strongest man competition, and more. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
54,601 on hand at County Stadium in Milwaukee.
And I think they spotted our cameras.
David Whitehurst has 3rd and 10. Look out. He gets it off in time, and a diving catch at the sideline by Rick McGeorge, the tight end. But McGeorge is way short of the first down, and David Beverly comes back in to punt. Al Baker was putting heavy pressure on Whitehurst that time. And there's David Beverly, who is averaging 39.8 yards per punt this year. He had a 57-yarder last week at San Diego against the Chargers.
David Beverly, the punt.
His only punt so far today was a very short one, less than 20 yards.
Oh!
And they're going to pass off of this, and Beverly finds his man wide open. Looks like Eric Torkelson, that's who it is. And off the fake punt, David Beverly connects with Eric Torkelson, and Bart Starr and the Packers are trying everything.
Unbelievable. Perfect execution, throws the ball, and there is Torkelson all by himself, and right down the sidelines. The Green Bay Packers can do nothing wrong today. The Lions, the last few games, have been caught off guard several times. The Bears had a fake punt against them with a run for big yardage. They got caught off guard on the onside kick, and now on the fake punt as the Packers are in control.
Beverly to Torkelson works for 31 yards. 1st and 10 from the 21 of Detroit. Marty Smith. Couple of yards to the 19.
Marty Smith tackled by
Al Baker on the tackle.
Can you imagine the pressure they're putting on the Chicago Bears for next week? The Bears are going to look at the game films here and say, gee, they did a fake punt, they did an end-around pass, they did wide receiver screens. They've done everything today.
And I wonder how much of it the Detroit Lions expected, if any of it.
Off past performances the first few games, you'd have to say the Packers were basically conservative.
Second down from the 19. Andra Thompson in motion. Whitehurst will throw. Thompson has it. Again, he breaks a tackle. And then another one as he goes in for a touchdown. And he has every reason to rejoice. He has come up with 3 outstanding runs today, and 2 of them have gone for touchdowns.
Andra Thompson, what a day. Let's take another look as David Whitehurst is having quite a day himself. He throws the ball, and then Thompson does the rest of it as he spins out of one tackle. There's Walt Williams is there, and he goes into the end zone. He deserves that touchdown.
One more look.
From the ground action view. Breaks 2 tackles.
One by Bradley, one by Dakin, and then he skips by Bruce Rhodes. Chester Marcole's kick is good, and with 9:46 to play, after a 19-yard pass from Whitehurst to Thompson, on which Thompson did most of the work with tenacious running, the Packers lead it 35-7.
Think you can't afford great stereo? Think again. Think of JCPenney's new MCS Series 33-watt system. Think of an incredible everyday saving of $230 when you purchase the 33-watt system as a package. Think of getting $829 worth of magnificent sound components for only $600. JCPenney's MCS Series 33-watt system. Think of the sound. Think of the service. Think of the savings. You won't have to think again.
You know what you could do with Mobil 1? You can now drive from New York to Los Angeles without an oil change. And back. And back again. And back. And back again. And back. And back again. And back. 25,000 miles. 25,000 miles without an oil change. That's what you can do with Mobil 1.
Andra Thompson has caught 3 passes today for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. And at 6'1" and 190, John, you can think of him exactly as a bull, but he has broken tackles and spun away from people on all 3 of those receptions.
And going into this game, he had caught 2 passes for 34 yards total for 4 games.
The Packers went 55 yards in 6 plays. It took 2.5 minutes for their latest touchdown. Here comes Jesse Thompson returning the kick by Chester Marcole. A flag flies, and Thompson is flying too. He is into Packer territory all the way down to the 32-yard line. Walter Tullis finally dragged him down from behind, along with Nate Simpson, who cut him off on the angle. But let's see what the flag is all about. Looks like they're going to come back. It's been that kind of day for the Lions.
Personal foul, clipping on the run back, number 43, first down.
Andy Bolton clipped on the run back, and that nullifies the great run by Thompson and sets them up at the 15, and there are the figures we gave you a moment ago on the Packers scoring drive. 9:32 left in the game. 1st and 10 from the 15. Horace King, maybe a yard. Mike Douglas hit him first.
A real good play by Mike Douglas. He went around the block and was there to stop it. Look at this final. Buffalo 28, Kansas City 13.
Buffalo's 2nd win of the year.
Buffalo is now 2-3. Kansas City 1-4.
We move inside 9 minutes to play in the game. Danielson pitches back to Dexter Bussey. Steve Luke is right there, and down goes Dexter.
Boy, I would imagine those Lions want to get on the airplane and get back home now. Things are going from bad to worse. Luke up on the safety force and was right in the backfield before they even had a chance.
And Baltimore is in front of Philadelphia, 14-10 in the fourth quarter. You can't figure anything. Baltimore beats New England a couple of weeks ago, then loses to Buffalo. Philadelphia upsets Miami last week. Now they trail Baltimore in the fourth.
And Baltimore gave up 80 points in the first 2 games they played without scoring anything.
Third down, 14 yards to go. Danielson under pressure. Better get out of that end zone. Throws on the run, incomplete. Intended for Freddie Scott. Ezra Johnson almost got to Danielson again.
He's talking to himself. He said, I had him. I had another sack. Here he comes. Here comes Ezra. And just the strength of his arms. Baldischweiler just goes down, and as Ezra goes right through like a sieve and gives a shot to Danielson, but does not make the sack. Danielson hung in there pretty tough as Ezra goes off the field.
Did you see the way Greg Landry looked at him as he trotted in front of him as they passed on the bench?
He said, we're glad we're both here on the sidelines.
Tom Skladany out of the end zone. Ooh. Jim Gano had the heavy rush on him, but Skladany spirals it out of there, and Odom bobbles it. And down he goes, hit by Ken Calicut. So it'll be Packer ball. They're going to spot it at the 38-yard line. Skladany's punt got Detroit out of a very deep hole. A 51-yard punt and no return.
Announcing a whole new breed of Mustang for '79. The turbocharged Mustang from Ford. With the performance of an optional turbocharged engine that took Mustang from 0 to 50 in an average of 7 seconds. Precise handling from sports car features and more. Mustang Turbo in 3-door and 2-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
You know, a lot of people think Billy and I argue all the time. Actually, we agree on just about everything, right, Bill?
Yeah, you betcha, George.
We even drink the same beer.
Light beer from Miller. Light's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling.
And the best thing is it tastes so great.
No, George, the best thing is less filling.
No, Bill, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy, it tastes great.
Less filling, George.
Billy?
Yeah, George.
You're fired.
Oh, not again.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
David Whitehurst has contributed a significant part of the 437 yards in total offense, which the Packers have racked up so far. And now Whitehurst goes to the sideline, replaced by rookie Dennis Sproul. While he was in there, Whitehurst hit on 14 of 18 passes for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. And there is Dennis Sproul, a rookie from Arizona State, an 8th-round draft choice this year.
Dennis played last year with some problems in his spine. He had some real serious problem there for a while, but they got it straightened out, and I guess he's healthy this year and happy to have a chance to play.
In some brief action earlier this season, he has completed 2 of 5 passes. He hands the ball to Nate Simpson as the Packers bring some substitutes into their backfield, and Simpson carries out to around the 43-yard line. John Woodcock tackled him.
Al Baker.
And while Bart Starr isn't exactly grinning from ear to ear, he ought to be.
Yes, everything has gone right for the Green Bay Packers, like the days of the 60s. They talked about Brooklyn, the old days of the summer. Is the pack back? That's going to be the motto next week. Or the pack is back.
Ooh, and you know those Packer fans will be up along with their ball club for that game next week against Walter Payton and the Bears. Pitch goes back to Jim Culbreth. Culbreth battling for first down yardage, but he's going to be short.
Tackled by
Clock is moving, 6:27 to play in the game. David Beverly comes back onto the field. Last time they faked the punt. Beverly threw to Eric Torkelson for 31 yards and a first down, and shortly after that, Whitehurst hit Andre Thompson for a 19-yard touchdown.
If they do something this time tricky.
There's Freddie Scott waiting deep. Beverly has actually punted the ball only once today. And he gets off a good kick this time. Takes a Detroit bounce, though, coming back the other way. And they'll spot it at about the 30. With 5:49 left in the game, and Green Bay in front 35-7. Next Sunday here on CBS, Atlanta and Pittsburgh, Philadelphia and New England, and the Lions have a tough assignment against the Redskins. Other games, Chicago and Green Bay. We've been talking about that one. Battle for the NFC Central lead. Tampa Bay takes on Kansas City. San Francisco plays the Rams in LA. Minnesota faces Seattle. And the Giants, who lost today to Atlanta, go against the Cowboys, who play tomorrow night against the Redskins in Washington. Danielson on first down. Complete to Rick Kane out of the backfield. About a 9-yard gain. They will be just short of a first down.
At last report, the Bears were still losing to Oakland 3-0. So the Packers, with winning this game, will be 4-1. The Bears will be either 4-1 or 3-2. Minnesota would be 3-2. Tampa 2-3, and Detroit 1-4 in the Central Division.
There's the line on Danielson. One of his passes went for the Lions' only touchdown, caught by Luther Blue. And this one is also complete. Jesse Thompson gathers it in, the rookie from California. For Thompson, it's reception number 5 on the season. Willie Buchanan drove him out of bounds.
Pretty good pass by Danielson, who really I don't think looks bad. He's done okay. That ball had some zip on it. He put it right on the numbers, and it was a nice completion for Detroit.
4 minutes and 48 seconds to play in the game. Glancing at the scoreboard here at County Stadium, I see that San Francisco beats Cincinnati 28-23, so the 49ers pick up a win, while the Bengals are yet to break into the victory column. They're 0-5. Rick Kane carries through a big hole. Kane to about the Packer 42. Johnny Gray and Steve Luke were there to meet him.
There's a man in that offensive line of Detroit that's had a pretty good game, but has been overshadowed. Number 62, Len Bodine, has been quietly throwing very good blocks and doing a pretty good job for Detroit. He's one of the veterans in that line. They have so many rookies, and they're going to have to suffer through this year while these players develop and learn.
2nd and 1 from the 42 as we move inside 4 minutes. Danielson pumping deep. Freddie Scott, touchdown Detroit. Perfectly thrown ball as Scott runs under the bomb.
Look at that move.
He's going to do his little dance.
Good play by Freddie Scott, and a perfect pass from Danielson.
Danielson's 2nd touchdown throw, and it covered 42 yards.
Now he spotted the ball coming before. That's Buchanan on the defense, isn't it? Now right here he's looking back, but Buchanan, just as he looks back, the ball went over his head, and Scott made the reception.
Number 1, Benny Ricardo.
This brings Benny Ricardo out onto the field. Danielson holds, Ricardo kicks, 35-14. The 35 points, by the way, the most scored by Green Bay in any game since November of 1976, when they got 32 against New Orleans.
Surprise! It's me, Ali, up here in Alaska to tell you how motorcraft parts for Ford were tested tough. Motorcraft heavy-duty batteries tough as these were tested in all kinds of nasty weather on 50 cars and trucks from Ford, GM, and Chrysler. After 6 months, not one motorcraft battery went bad. Motorcraft batteries, they have the stuff. Motorcraft parts are tested tough.
Sometimes all those monthly bills get to be almost too much to manage. That's where Beneficial comes in. The all-in-one loan from Beneficial is cash to clean up all or most of those bills. And chances are, extra cash left over. Just one convenient payment a month, often smaller than those current monthly payments put together. The all-in-one loan at Beneficial, where you're good for more.
At Beneficial, you're good for more.
Benny Ricardo set to kick off. And obviously the onside kick is on here as everybody shifts to the other side. Takes a high bounce.
Loose ball.
Lions think they have it, and they do.
Detroit recovers the onside.
So Detroit, which was victimized by an onside kick off the foot of Efren Herrera of Seattle, and they're still squirming around down there, but the Lions do have it. They were victimized last week by a Seattle onside kick. They pull one off this week themselves.
This was a perfect one because it took that hop off the point and went up and over the front line of the Packers. Barty Smith got his hands on it, but it got loose, and it looks like the Lions recovered, and they did, and they have a first down. Unfortunately for Detroit, it's much, much too late. 35-14 with 3:44 left in the game. There was the last drive.
Culminated by a 42-yard pass from Danielson to Freddie Scott. The handoff is to Lawrence Gaines on first down.
Lawrence Gaines.
And Gaines, with his first carry of the afternoon, is stopped by Paul Rudzinski.
Lawrence Gaines has been plagued by a bad knee for the last year or so. He also has a sore ankle. He's been kind of banged up for Detroit and hasn't been able to really do what he would like to do. Big, powerful running back.
He had 659 yards as a rookie in 1976, but underwent 3 different knee operations in 77, 2nd and 7th from the 43. By the way, we're crediting Bill Gay, the rookie, for Detroit with the fumble recovery on the onside kick. Danielson, all kinds of heat on him. Incomplete, intended for Rick Kane, who couldn't make the diving catch, with Gary Weaver on the coverage.
Gary Danielson is showing that he's very mobile, very mobile. A big decision will be coming up for Monty Clark next week. Will he come back with Greg Landry, or off of this second half performance by Danielson, will he rate him ahead of Greg Landry? Who will start?
3rd and 7. Detroit has converted just 4 of 15 third down situations so far. 2:56 to play in the game. Lions trying to make the score a bit more respectable. Rick Kane carried. They're short of the first down. Obviously, they'll go for it on 4th down. The rookie Terry Jones made the tackle. Let's see what the Bears and the Raiders are doing. Still 3-0 Oakland. They're in the second quarter now, and when this one is over with, the Packers will turn their attentions toward the game between the Bears and the Raiders. If Oakland wins it, it'll be sole possession of first place in the NFC Central for Green Bay. Hold everything, as they say. Looked like Bill Gay jumped off sides, number 83. That'll cost them 5 and make it 4th and 7. Don Wedge will make it official.
Procedure, false start, number 83 on the offense. 4th down.
Oakland and Chicago now tied 3-3. Bob Thomas kicked a 25-yard field goal for the Bears. That was in the second quarter. Earl Mann had a 42-yarder for Oakland.
Freddie Scott wide left, Luther Blue wide right. 4th down, 7 yards to go. Danielson in trouble. Squirms his way out of trouble. And incomplete for Freddie Scott. Johnny Gray was there.
There's Ezra Johnson down on the ground again saying, I had him again. I had him again. And he's going, no. They had him trapped. Danielson is showing a great propensity to get out of trouble when they have a sure sack on him.
The World Series of Golf is coming up immediately following our telecast from Milwaukee. And at last report, Hubert Green had a 3-shot lead. That may have changed during the past few moments. But we'll be going there to find out for sure as soon as this ball game is over with.
2 minutes. Excuse me, Bob. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left.
And they're helping Dave Roller from the field. He is, as we pointed out earlier, an immensely popular player among Packer fans. And he appears to be not too badly shaken up. An example of the devotion directed toward him here. The giant Roller banner. Packers take over after stopping the Lions on downs, and Jim Colbreth carries.
Jim Colbreth, the ball carrier. The 2-minute
and we'll get the 2-minute warning. Exactly 2 minutes to play in this game. A game which, for the most part, has been dominated by the Packers. They lead it 35-14.
Protecting your car radiator against freezing up when it's freezing outside, that's the mark of Xerox. Xerox Antifreeze. Protecting your radiator against boiling over when it's boiling outside. That's the mark of Xerox. Protecting your radiator against rust no matter what it's doing outside. That's the mark of Xerox. Three-way protection all year long. That's the mark of Xerox.
This class trip's great. That would burn our school down.
That's one reason Century Insurance built the Century Laboratories, to help our customers avoid trouble.
Like fires?
Like lots of things.
They have as many tests as we do.
Century works hard at helping our customers do things more safely.
Your customers must like that.
And it helps attract new customers. Century likes that.
Treating the customer right isn't just nice, it's good business.
As we wind down the final 2 minutes, some statistics. Turdell Middleton, carried only 11 times today for the Packers, but for a total of 148 yards, including a 77-yard touchdown run. Dennis Sproul hands the ball to Nate Simpson, and Simpson runs well into Detroit territory. Dave Washington made the tackle. Our telecast today was produced by Tom O'Neill, directed by Marvin F. Muse. We'll see you next week in Pittsburgh, Marv. John Rebeski was our associate producer. Dick Shapiro, the engineer in charge, and shortly you'll get a look at some of the other fine people who helped to put our telecast together today from County Stadium in Milwaukee. 1st and 10 from the 44 of Detroit. 1:20 left. Simpson carries again. Luther Bradley brings him down. And the clock keeps ticking.
We have a score in on Denver-Seattle. The Broncos have taken a lead 7-0 over Seattle in the first quarter. Norris Weiss took it over himself, 6-yard run.
Dexter Bussey unofficially with 59 yards rushing. He leads the Lions in that department, 14 carries for him. Horace King got 43 on 11 carries. Barty Smith, 24 yards on 9 carries for Green Bay. And as we mentioned, the game's top man, Turdell Middleton, with 148. Simpson carries again.
Simpson, the ball carrier.
And neither team will make any effort to stop the clock. Doug English on the tackle. That may have been the game's last play.
So the Green Bay Packers are 4-1 in the Central Division. And the Chicago Bears currently tied 3-3 with Oakland in the second quarter, so the Pack has a chance to be back right on top, depending on what happens down in Chicago. As the clock winds down, 6 seconds, 5.
The handshake between Monty Clark and Bart Starr. Clark is 1-4, Starr is 4-1. At day's end, he will have at least a share of the NFC Central title, and as Johnny said, if Oakland cooperates and beats the Bears, Green Bay will own the division lead coming into their showdown next Sunday at Lambeau Field in Green Bay with Walter Payton and Neil Armstrong's Chicago Bears. The Packers got their touchdowns on a 2-yard run by Barty Smith, a 1-yard quarterback keeper by David Whitehurst, a touchdown pass of 43 yards from Whitehurst to Andre Thompson. That was all in the first half. Then in the second half, a 77-yard run by Turdell Middleton, another pass to Thompson for a touchdown. 35-14 the final. 2 Gary Danielson touchdown passes accounting for the Lions' scores. This is Bob Costas for Johnny Morris saying goodbye from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Coming up next, we'll bring you final round action in this year's World Series of Golf, where Dr. Gil Morgan and Hubert Green are now tied in the final round. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.
This is CBS.